Hello, my royal lovelies, and welcome back to the channel. It is Prince Harry's 40th birthday today. Oh my goodness, what a day. I think someone is jumping for joy in Montecito. Megsy Baby and Harry have got their hands on an estimated £8 million inheritance from the late Queen Mother's will. Little correction from my last video. I think I said, when I spoke about the Queen Mother's legacy, I said about grandchildren. What I actually meant was great-grandchildren. So yeah, just a little correction from me to me. Right, Harry jumping for joy. Megsy Baby stayed around for the long game payout, didn't she? She was definitely not going to do anything in terms of getting rid of Harry before that little check came through, or should I say bank transfer. I bet they were up all night waiting for the cash to drop, well, waiting for their bank balance to swell. Yes, I can just imagine the whoops and the joys and the cheers coming from the Montecito hills. Ah, my goodness. So a very good day for Harry. He turns 40, gets his hands on all that money. But that's it, you know. We do not know what King Charles has provided for Harry in his will. But in terms of inheritance, Harry's had his lot. He's already had, unfortunately, the inheritance from his late mother. And he's now had the inheritance from his late great-grandmother. We do not know exactly what Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has left, because we know that the majority of inheritance between monarchs goes from monarch to monarch transfer. It's the most tax-effective way of doing it, because obviously monarch to monarch is exempt from tax in the UK. So that's how most monarchs operate. But we do not know if there were any personal bequests or anything sort of left for grandchildren, great-grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II. But that is it. Harry has had his lot. The only way that he's going to get money now is to earn it himself through projects or to exploit his family, as he has been doing, and he's been calling that projects, which I think is absolutely disgusting and disgraceful. So are we happy that such a human being with that kind of attitude has inherited £8 million? Well, it doesn't matter what we think. The fact is that, yes, he has. And I am sure that he and Megsy Baby are incredibly happy. What do you think she's done? Has she gone straight to the designer couture outlets and she's trying to put down, she said, designers, please reserve your most baggy, wrinkled clothes because I'm going to be coming in with lots of cash. Is it a bit like that scene in Pretty Woman where she walks into the designer stores in her big, baggy, wrinkled clothes and they turn their noses up at her? And then she goes back later with £8 million and she's like, mistake, big mistake. Unfortunately, Meghan is not as pretty as as Pretty Woman. Anyway, although yes, there are similarities between Pretty Woman and Megsy Baby. Let's not go into it on this channel, but for those of you who know the film, I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. Don't stop at red lights. Anyway, so do I wish a happy birthday to Harry? Yes, I do. Happy birthday, Harry. There you go. I've said it. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy looking back on the 40 years of your life. And I hope that you are proud. I hope you can look back and that you are proud of what you have done. Because think about it. You harpooned your grandmother and your grandfather when effectively they were dying. You released the Oprah interview when the Duke of Edinburgh was effectively in hospital, just about to come out to go home to die. And then you were going to release the poisonous Spare, whilst Queen Elizabeth was obviously not very well, obviously, you know, passing away, probably given 1 or 2 years to live. And then, you know, he was going to release that during her lifetime. And then he paused it to put extra chapters in for after she'd passed away. It's disgusting. I hope he does look back, and I hope he's proud. I hope he is proud of what he's done, because that would show what the sort of person he is, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's move on from the well wishes and talk about the royal family well wishes for Harry's birthday. So I've checked the other known social medias of family. I've checked Sarah Ferguson, and I've checked Princess Eugenie's Instagram accounts. And at the moment, at the point of making this video, there have been no mentions of Harry on their accounts. That's not to say that they might put something up later in the day, but if they do, I'll talk about that in the next video. But the people the family members that have wished Harry a happy birthday, the King, and by virtue, Queen Camilla as well. And, of course, Prince William and Catherine. They have wished Harry a happy birthday, but in kind of similar but different ways, and we'll talk about that. So, the royal family account on X, formerly known as Twitter, represents the King and the Queen, but also the wider royal family. So if they post something like a statement or a happy birthday wish, it's on behalf of the whole family. And I think the King has taken the lead on this. Now, the King had a very difficult decision to make, because he could have just blanked Harry. And I think a lot of people that are upset with Harry, myself included, would have found that an acceptable and welcome thing to do. However, there are lots of Harry and Meghan supporters out there. We know them as the Sussex Squad, and they most definitely would have been pointing the finger and trying to stir up trouble online for the King and William and Catherine, saying that they didn't care and how terrible it is that a father hasn't wished his own son a happy 40th birthday. You can just imagine what Harry and Meghan's minions would have been trying to spill their poison out there. So I think the King and William have led a very coordinated approach, and I'm really glad that they have. Many of us would have just completely blanked him, but like I say, they didn't want that hassle. They've after the year that they've had, and this is an unmovable event. They couldn't change Harry's birthday. They knew it was coming. I think they planned this, and I think they've executed it brilliantly, because now nobody can come to their door and say that they haven't acknowledged, from the King's point of view, his son's birthday, and of course from William and Catherine's point of view, William's being his brother from that perspective. Let's take a look then at what was actually said in the messages. So, as I'm reading this, the message was posted 6 hours ago, and I'm reading it from Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called these days. X, I think, is the name it goes by. I still call it Twitter. So the royal family account put out a cake emoji, wishing the Duke of Sussex a very happy 40th birthday today, with an exclamation mark. It is the bare minimum. That's all I'm going to say. It doesn't ooze warmth. The warmth is not there, I feel, from it. And of course, they've taken a photo, and they've put a photo as well. The royal family account represents the whole royal family. So, there doesn't need to be individual well wishes. This represents the working royals, which is why I went to Instagram to check for Sarah Ferguson's and Princess Eugenie's, which obviously they still haven't put anything out at the point of making this video. So the bare minimum has been done, and it was interesting to see how the Prince and Princess of Wales echoed the thought. So what they've done is they've sidestepped the need to post their own photo tribute by retweeting what the royal family posted. So they're using basically the same photo in their message. And again, the bare minimum. Wishing a happy 40th birthday to the Duke of Sussex, exclamation mark, this time no emoji. And we know that in previous birthday messages, the royals between each other have exchanged different emojis. There's just a complete lack of warmth. So that just goes to show that this is just lip service. It is a coordinated approach just to stop the naysayers from causing drama and hassle. So for anyone who's thinking, oh, there's going to be a lot of talk about relations thawing, that there's going to be, Harry coming back to the royal fold, these messages do not indicate that to me at all. Lip service, that is all it is. It lacks the warmth, it lacks feeling, it lacks emotion. There's an attempt at it, but it doesn't go there. And of course, the royal family will know that Harry is going to get, all of this money on his birthday. It's also important to mention that William would have had his share of the money, although it's rumoured to be slightly less than Harry's, when he turned 40. So, I don't know. They've sidestepped a lot of drama, which they don't need. The cancer diagnoses of the King and Catherine, they don't need this. So I think they've been incredibly wise in doing this. We can see the reasoning behind it, and I just think they've played what we say is a blinder. They've played a blinder, and I think they've executed it perfectly. In other news today, because of course it is Sunday, the King and Queen have attended church in Balmoral after wishing, of course, we've just spoken about it, Prince Harry a happy 40th birthday on social media. So it's really nice to see that the King and Queen are up in Balmoral in Scotland, a place that they really love and they hold dear. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether they are staying at Birk Hall at the moment or whether they are in the main castle. I would like to think that the main castle is being used not just as basically overspill accommodation for when family come to stay, although it is rather nice and rather grand overspill accommodation. But the King and Queen do seem to favour Birk Hall, which of course was the late Queen Mother's private home, which she left to King Charles, obviously when he was Prince of Wales. So it's a home that he holds dear for sentimental reasons as well. It's obviously smaller than Balmoral Castle, but also a very grand home, and I think one that probably feels a lot more like home. So they were seen arriving at church. I'm just looking at the photos now. I love Camilla's hats. I love the Queen's hats. She's always had really great taste in millinery. From my perspective, I always love it when she wears big hats with feathers, and this green hat, I think I've seen it before, but it really is gorgeous. Now, you might think, ooh, the green and blue doesn't quite go together, but if you zoom in on the collar of her coat, there is, I don't know whether it's a scarf or whether it's the collar of the coat, but it's got this green sort of tartan in it as well. So it does tie in together if you zoom in and look closely. The King looks well from what I can see. Lots of colour back in his cheeks. So I think the Balmoral Scottish air is doing well. He's in the kind of browny, goldy suit, which I think looks really well. I can't tell if he's wearing a kilt from the photos because he is sat down in the car. But he looks just so well. They're both smiling and being very happy. So I don't think there's anyone else that we can see in the convoy at the moment from the photos coming out. But like I say, it's good to see the King and Queen out and about for Sunday service. We know that all is well in the world when we see the royals out at Sunday service during the summer. Of course, the King will be set to make a return. We think he might be staying at Balmoral for a little bit of an extended break, a very welcome break, and one that we do not begrudge him at all. After the year he's had, my goodness. And I kind of hope that William and Catherine also take a little bit of an extended break as well. Again, I think they really need it and deserve it, although we have seen Prince William back to some duties. Right, it's time for me to sign off. So thank you, my loves, for watching this video. If you've got any thoughts or comments, please drop them in the comment section below. And as always, if you can find it within yourself to share on social media, then please do. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Right, I'm off. I've got things to do on Sunday. Cleaning, washing, all the rest of it. More videos to edit. I'm busy. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye, my loves. Mwah to you all. Goodbye.